Welcome you all to the Sunday Bhagavad Gita classes. And we are in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. And what is the acronym of chapter 2?
Acronym is Gita.
Yeah. G stands for accepting the Guru.
The Guru.
I is for
to identify
identity.
our soul.
What
Identity.
a real identity is, we are not the body, we are the
We are our soul.
Yeah. And then T stands
The
for
two dharmas. The two dharmas.
One is the dharma due to our bodily constitution. We are all having some responsibility for taking birth here. And another is parodharma, the duties towards Krishna. And then A stands for
Atma Rama.
Atma Rama is a person who is in Krishna consciousness. How is his symptoms? If somebody says, I am this person, I am this, I am that, there should be some qualification for that person. And the symptoms, it is revealed by the way he behaves, by the way he talks. Externally, the person may wear kanti, the person may wear tilak, the person may wear dhoti kurta or the sari, may look like a very nice devotee externally, but internally, when the person is starting to speak, when the nature of the person behaving with other people, we can make out whether he or she is a devotee or not. So these are the questions which Arjuna is asking. What is the symptom of the person who is Krishna consciousness? So this chapter is also called the summary of Bhagavad Gita. It is also called Gita Sar or the summary of Bhagavad Gita, because all the topics that Krishna is discussing in Bhagavad Gita is spoken precisely here, but later on Arjuna will ask many questions on whatever Krishna has said. Arjuna will ask further questions. So everything develops from this chapter. In fact, it started developed from the first chapter itself. Arjuna has 5 arguments which he has put. Based on that, we have the Krishna's reply. And we saw that in the beginning of the chapter, we saw that Arjuna was having full of tears out of lamentation. He was under the bodily concept of life, and out of compassion, he was not willing to fight. And then we saw in the next sloka, for the first time, Krishna started to speak in Bhagavad Gita. And did he speak softly or he chastised Arjuna very heavily?
He chastised
him very heavily. He said, Kutasva kashpalamidam vishame samupanas anarya jushtam asvargyam akirtim karam Arjuna. How come this kind of impurities entered you? This does not suit a person who is an Aryan. Aryan means a person who is civilized. And what is civilization means? Understanding the purpose of life, to come out of the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease, to address the real problem of the life. That is the civilization. Asvarga. Will Arjuna go to Swarga? Even if he dies in the battle, a person who is fighting in the Dharmic war, he is entitled to go to the Swarga Lokan, Akirti. If somebody has backed out of the battle, that person is never famous. He is just called as a darpok. So all these 3 things will not suit Arjuna. And the next thing he says that Klaibhyam Maspa Gama Partha. You're behaving like an impotent man. Further, he's chastising even more heavily. And he's telling that you are a Parantapa. And you're coming from the Kunti. You're the Kunti Putra and you're coming from the great lineage. And you're also my cousin. In spite of this, such kind of behavior does not suit you. And Arjuna is further replying, yes, Krishna, I understand what you're saying, but how can I kill my own teacher? How can I kill my own grandfather? You are called as Madhusudana. You're not called as Sandipana Sudana or Ugrasena Sudana. You're only called Madhusudana. But why are you impelling me to kill my own grandparents and my own teachers? And the next sloka, Arjun says, Guru Nahatva. Guru is or someone who has to be respectable. They are worshipable. So killing them or even fighting against them, it is better for me to go for begging than to do such an act. And Arjuna, being a Kshatriya, does a profession of begging suits him? It doesn't suit him. But still, Arjuna, this shows the saintly quality of Arjuna, that how respectable he was towards his elders. Even though they were all atatayina, they were aggressors because they supported the aggressor. So you're also called aggressors. Like we saw, meat eaters. Some people say that I am not killing. I am just buying from the shop and eating. So I don't incur sin. But are you not creating a demand? Because you're eating only the shops or supplying. In a place where nobody is eating meat, can there be any shop which is selling the meat? It cannot be. So similarly, they were also supporting the Gauravas. So they are also called aggressors. Immediately they can be killed. No court case, nothing. If somebody is an aggressor, you can just kill them and no sin, nothing happens. But in spite of that, Arjuna, because of his saintly quality, was thinking, why should I do this act rather than go for begging? And in the next sloka number 6, we saw Arjuna's indecision has reached the peak. He became totally indecisive. He does not know, should I fight or should I not fight? If I win, what will happen? If I win, what will happen? And he is not seeing good in anything. Everything looks gray in front of Arjuna. Whatever actions he is trying to look forward, nothing is helping him. So, in such a situation, what did Arjuna do? Did Arjuna go to a psychologist? Did Arjuna try to type in the Google and check how can we come out of the lamentation? What did Arjuna do?
Arjuna takes Krishna as a guru.
Exactly. He approached a guru. And Karpanya dosho pagata swabhava pritchami tvam dharma sammuda cheta yashreya sya nichitam brugitanme shishyasya hamshadi mam tvam prapadnam. So he is saying, because the relationship between the two friends is not considered very serious. It is considered very casual. When two friends speaks, the talks are not very serious. But however, he became the student of Krishna. He became a disciple of Krishna because the discussion between a guru and a disciple is very serious. So he wanted to take it in the form of instruction because he does not know any other way of solving his problem. Yes, Shreya Syanichitam Bruhitanme. Yes, Shreya, what is good for me in long term? I know in my present condition, I am not able to think anything. It happens even to us. Sometimes when things are not happening very favorable to us, at that moment, we find it very difficult to make any decisions. So similarly, Arjuna knows the current moment, he is not able to take decision. But in the long term, Shreyas, yes, Shreyas Yanichitam Bruhitanme. What is good for me in the long term? That is what Arjuna says. And Karpanya dosho, I am affected by miserly weakness. I am a miser because a miser is the one who has all wealth and cannot spend. Here, Arjuna is a great warrior. He is just not an ordinary warrior. He has won against Indra. He has won against Shiva. He is such a great warrior. In spite of that, he behaved like a miser, like as though he does not have any skills. He felt very incapable of doing any particular thing. So he himself could understand, I am overcome by miserly weakness. So similarly, in the purport, we saw that Prabhupada has mentioned, we have got a human form of life after many lifetimes. Out of 84 lakh species of life, the human form is obtained after being in 80 lakh species of life. Now, this particular life is used for us so that we can come out of the permanent problems in our life. What are the permanent problems in our life? Birth, death, old age, and disease. But instead of coming out of our permanent problems, what are we trying to do? We are trying to fix the problems. Are we trying to solve the problems or are we trying to fix the problem? Everything that we are doing today, is it solving the real problem or fixing the problem?
Solving the problem.
No, but are we really able to solve the problems, like the 4 problems, like birth, death, old age, disease?
No,
this is common for everyone. Everybody is having the same problem. See, sometimes I have one problem, you have one problem, another person has another problem. But these 4 problems, is it not common to all of us?
Yes.
Birth, death, old age, and disease, is it not a common problem? But Have we ever thought about it? I'm working so hard. I'm trying to be nice. Suppose a person is working for 60 years in life and accumulated some wealth and accumulated some property, and he thinks right now he will settle down properly. But what happens after 50, 60 years? Slowly, he gets all kind of diseases.
Ailment.
Yeah, diabetes, hypertension, this, that, and this. So then after 60 years, where do we walk the most?
To the
We
doctor.
walk to the hospital and the labs. Instead of thinking that, we will be happy in our life. We work so hard and we'll be happy in the life, but we are not able to do that. Okay, we are going to the doctor. Somebody is serious. Sometimes, the death is delayed, but the death is for sure. So, but we in the human form of life, why are we not able to understand that I should live forever. We all have a desire to live forever. We all wanted to be happy because the soul is Satchit Ananda. Krishna is Satchit Ananda. We are also part and parcel of Krishna. So the eternity, knowledge, and bliss is also ours. That's why we think that we are never going to die, because our soul is eternal. Happiness. Every human being in this life is looking for happiness, right from the child till the 80-year-old person or 90-year-old person, because that is also the quality of the soul. And knowledge. Are we not seeking some kind of knowledge or other? All of us throughout our life. Even if somebody is there, they just try to listen to the news so that they gather some knowledge, some information. So we are all having, but we do not know which is the right knowledge, which is the right way to solve the problem. So that is the thing which Prabhupada has mentioned, that having got a human form of life, we should come out of the miserly weakness. Like we have got a BMW car. And what do we do with that? We will drive in a nice road. If you're using that car in agriculture to tow the field, what will happen to the car? It will get damaged. So similarly, we are given a human form of life, which is much more worth than a BMW car. But how are we using it? In the same propensity of an animal. Ahara, nidra, bayamaituna. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So these are the 4 things that we are doing it. So dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho. It is a dharma that differentiates us from being an animal. Dharmena hina pashubinaranam. So without dharma, we are a 2-legged animal. Some people say humans, we have more intellectual, emotionally, we are more evolved. Yes, we agree, we are evolved. Emotionally, we are more intellectual. But what are you using that for? If you're intelligent, where do you use that? You're using in the same animalistic propensity to increase your eating. Earlier, if you used to eat once a month outside, now you ensure that you eat at least 10 times a month outside and trying different cuisines. Sleeping, you try to get into a better and better, bigger and bigger house, and you go for a different mattress so that you can sleep better. Defending, we can increase our security so much. The more the higher society we go, high-end society, there are more securities over there. Yeah. Yes. So this is all we are doing. Other than that, what are we doing with our evolved emotion and with our evolved intelligence? Are we able to solve the real problem of the life? No. So therefore, here in the next sloka, we can see that how Arjuna was completely perplexed. In spite of having all the qualities, Arjuna did not know what to do. So he did not stop with this sloka, and again he is going with the next sloka. I'm just going to share a PowerPoint. Is it visible?
Yes.
Yeah, we will do the sloka first. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat.
Nahi prapashyami mamapanudhyat.
Yachokam uchoshanamindriyanam.
Yachokum uchchoshana indriyanam.
Avapya bhuma vasapatnam vrittam.
Avapya bhuma vasapatya bhrutam.
Rajam suranam api chadipatyam.
Rajyam Suranamapi Chapitapatyam.
Can I split the sloka even little smaller? I think the pronunciation is little difficult, right? So we'll do half of lines. Nahi prapashyami.
Nahi prapashyami.
Mama panudyat.
Mama panupidyat.
Yachokam.
Yachokam.
Uchoshanam.
Uchoshanam.
Indriyana.
Indriyanam.
Avapya.
Avapya.
Uma.
Bhuma.
Vasapatnam vrittam.
Vasapatnam Vratnam.
Rajyam surana.
Rajyam Suranam.
Apichadi padyam.
Api Chapi Padyam.
We'll do once with the tune now. Nahi prapashyami mama panudyat.
Nahi prapashyami mama panudyat.
Chokam uchoshanamindriyana.
Yachokamuchoshana indriyanam.
Avapya bhuma vasapatnam vrittam.
Avapya bhuma vasapatnam vritnam.
Rajyam suranam apichadipadyam.
Rajyam Suranam Avipatnam.
Would like to do this sloka?
I can, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Nahi prapashyami mama panudyat.
Nahi prapashyami mama panudyat.
Chogamuchoshanamindriyanam.
Yachokamuchoshanamindriyanam.
Avapya bhumau asapatnaradham.
Avapya bhuma vasapatnam
Vasapatnam
vrittam.
Ratnam.
Rajyam suranam abhichadipatyam.
Rajyam suranam apichadipadyam.
Avipatnam.
Word to word translation should
Yes,
I read,
Mataji,
Mataji?
please.
Na, do not, I, certainly, prapashyami, I see, mama, my, apanudyat, can drive away, yet, that which, shokam, lamentation, just a minute, Mataji. Shokam, lamentation, uchoshanam, drying up, indriyanam, of the senses, avapya, achieving, bhumau, on the earth, asapatnam, without rival, ratham, prosperous, rajyam, kingdom, suranam, of the demigods, api, even, cha, also, adhipatyam, supremacy. Translation: I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Purport.
Yes,
Although
Mataji. No, we will do purports slowly. First, we
Okay.
will do little. Namo
Okay.
Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamiti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So here we can see that after Arjuna surrendered to Krishna already, he said he doesn't know what to do. So here he is saying it just did not stop with that. Arjuna is saying that there's no means for me to dry away the grief. Sometimes when we are also very much in the grief, are we not feeling that our throat gets dried up and we feel so this thing? So similarly, our body is burning and all those sensations. So similarly, Arjuna is totally here. He's feeling very, very helpless. He does not know what to do. He thinks, even if I'm winning a very, very prosperous kingdom, unrivaled kingdom on the earth, because earlier Bharatavarsha there was only one rain which is called Bharatavarsha. The entire earth was under the rule of the Yudhishthir, or previously it was by the Kauravas and Pandavas. So it was the Bharatavarsha. So it is an unrivaled kingdom on the earth with sovereignty like the demigods in the heaven. So it was considered to be a very, very great and opulent kingdom. In spite of that, Arjuna is feeling that I am feeling very, very weak. I do not know what to do. I don't feel anything good about fighting this battle. So even if I win, there's no point that Arjuna is saying. Already he has been saying that with whom I will enjoy. And even if I get all the three worlds, it is not good now. But Arjuna is repeating this again because now he is talking to Krishna in as a earlier Arjuna was talking to Krishna as a friend. So now he is talking to Arjuna as a disciple. So Krishna as a disciple. So Arjuna is further saying all the statements that he is feeling. Now, what is the, therefore, we are not able to solve the problems on our own. Even though we feel that some people, they are very, very successful in their life in terms of their studies or in terms of their career and in terms of many things, we see that people are still unhappy. They are seeking the help of some psychologists or psychiatrists because they are not able to cope up with their life. Even though after we achieve also, why we are not happy? See, we see that people getting into colleges like IIT and BITS, they should be highly qualified to go there. In spite of going there, after achieving what they wanted, they worked so hard for early in the school years and they are going there. And we are hearing that there are many suicides happening there. So why is that happening? Because you entered those college out of your own will. Not by, yes, even if you have put some pressure, but you have worked hard to go there and you wanted to go there. In spite of going there and doing things, why are people feeling depressed and stressed? Because the material...
They may not be able to cope with the pressure. Or
there is no,
because the
there
material...
is no content
the material...
They're not contented with existing.
Exactly. Because the material existence is full of problems. If you're in material life is full of problems. So it is not easy to come out of this material existence by using our economic development or scholar things. So Arjuna understood that he is not able to come out of his problem, even though he has lot of qualification. Therefore, what did Arjuna do? He went to Krishna and surrendered himself as a disciple, because Krishna is a Param Guru. The entire Guru Parampara comes from Krishna only. If you're taking the Bhagavad Gita, page number 31, please go through that. There is a disciplinic succession, which says, Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajya Shayo Vidu. Bhagavad Gita, as it is received through the disciplinic succession, starting from Krishna himself. So from Krishna, it went to Brahma, from Brahma to Narada, from Narada to Vyasadev, from Vyasadev to Madhava, from Madhava to Padmanabha, all the way. It came till Jagannath Baba, then Bhakti Vinod Thakur, then Gaura Kishora, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, then to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So we can see that this parampara is coming directly from, starting from
Krishna.
whom? Starting from Krishna himself. So one has to accept Krishna as the Param Guru. So that is why here Arjuna is approaching Krishna, as he knows that there is no way of coming out of the problems of the life without taking the help of the spiritual master, because the spiritual master can help us to come out of the real problems of the life. Mataji, you can read this now.
Need of a spiritual master. Although Arjun was putting forward so many arguments based on knowledge of the principles of religion and moral codes, it appears that he was unable to solve his real problem without the help of the spiritual master, Lord Sri Krishna. he could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problems, which were drying up his whole existence, and it was impossible for him to solve such perplexities without the help of a spiritual master like Lord Krishna. Academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, etc., are all useless in solving the problems of life. Help can be given only by a spiritual master like Krishna. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious is the bona fide spiritual master, for he can solve the problems of life.
Yeah. So Arjuna is talking in terms of Dharma Shastra. He is talking in terms of Artha Shastra. So he is, whatever the argument which we saw Arjuna was putting forward, they are all based on the moral codes. Did Arjuna put any argument that we say that his argument is not worth? Compassion. The entire world speaks about compassion. We should be compassionate to other living entities. Was Arjuna wrong to think in terms of compassion?
It's not wrong.
Was Arjuna wrong in terms of thinking about enjoyment? The entire world is living because the code, the mantra of the world is to enjoy, right? Everything that we are doing is enjoy your life, enjoy your world. So is Arjuna talking anything other than what people wanted? Enjoyment? No. Sinful reactions. Yes, people, at least we Indians, we are all aware about the karma and activities. We know that if we do bad things to others, bad things will happen to us. Most of us are aware about the karma and about incurring the sinful activities. So people go to holy places like Ganga and all the places. Why do they go? Now we saw that during this Mahakumbh, how many visitors visited? Something like, I don't know, I heard how many visitors? Some 40 crore people or somebody went and visited Mahakumbh, something like that. Like almost
60,
if you see like
60 crores.
60 crores. Okay. So more than half the India then population, right?
Yeah.
So 100 crores. So why did people go? Because people wanted to come out of their sinful activities. We all know that we commit sin and we think that by taking a holy dip, we will come out of our sinful activities. And the next thing, he's talking about family tradition and destruction of family tradition. That is also very important. And about the women, pollution of the women. And all the things which Arjuna putting forward are all based on the moral codes. There's nothing wrong in which Arjuna said. But when Arjuna presented all these arguments to Krishna, did Krishna pat Arjuna's back and said, yes, Arjuna, your arguments are very good? Did he pat his back or did he chastise him?
Chastise him.
He did not say, yes, Arjuna, your points are absolutely good. No, he did not appreciate him. Rather, he chastised him because Bhagavad Gita is beyond all these moral codes and everything, because Bhagavad Gita is mainly to come out of the real problems of our life. Not just to solve the problems, the current problems, but to come out of the real problems of the life. So here, Arjuna, if you take academic, why do we send our children to school?
To study.
To study academic knowledge. We think that if they study well, their life will be good.
Yes.
And we encourage them that they have to develop the skills so that they get into good job and they go to high positions. Then their life will be settled.
Yes.
So many people have studied well. Many people are in the high position in their lives. But is everybody happy?
No.
So that's what we could see. This academic knowledge and scholarship, they are useless in solving the problems of the life. Even though we are hankering behind those things, we are going behind these things of the knowledge of all the scholars, but that is not going to solve our real problems of the life. So if you want to come out of the real problems of the life, you need to approach a spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master who is coming through the parampara. Like we saw just now, from Krishna, this knowledge was given to Brahma. From Brahma, this knowledge was given to Narada, Narada to Vyasadeva. So this is a bona fide parampara. So you have to approach a spiritual master who is coming through the parampara. If somebody is calling themselves a spiritual master, then they cannot be a spiritual master. You need to check it. Like if you're taking admission for your child in a school or college, are you not checking the credentials of the college? If my son or daughter studies there, will that certificate will be valid?
Yes.
We
check
do
the
make those checks,
background
right?
checks, yes.
Background checks. But when we are approaching a spiritual master, today so many spiritual gurus are there in India who talk very, very nicely, very sensationally. And we also get carried away by their talks and we start going to their satsang. That's not even a satsang, because satsang is really, that should be, but the so-called thing. And we speak that they speak very nicely, very good. And we just go there, and will such kind of surrender to a fake spiritual master can help us? The so-called guru cannot help us, because there are certain gurus, so-called gurus here, who had made statements saying that there's nothing called a spiritual world and material world. Everything is right here. And he has like so many millions and millions of followers. So but what did Krishna says? Parastasmastu bhavanyo. He says there is another world behind this material world. There's another world called spiritual world. Krishna is saying that. But we are even denying those words, and we are giving a wrong message to the people, saying that this world is all in all. So whatever you want, you just do it over here. But is that going to help us? No, maybe temporarily, but may not be permanently. Therefore, we need to approach a right spiritual master. So in the next paragraph, we can see who can become a spiritual master, or in other words, what is the qualification of the spiritual master? Shweta Mataji, would you like to read? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who can become a spiritual master? Lord Chaitanya said that one who is a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his social position, is a real spiritual master. Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasi Shudra Kene Naya Yei Krishna Tattva Veta Sai Guru Haya. It does not matter whether a person is a Vipra, learned scholar in Vedic wisdom, or is born in a lower family, or is in the renounced order of life. If he is a master in the science of Krishna, he is the perfect and bona fide spiritual master. This is written in Chaitanya Charitamrita,
Charitamrita Madhya Leela.
8.128. So without being a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, no one is a bona fide spiritual master. It is also said in the Vedic literature.
So we can see that. What is the qualification of spiritual master? He should be 100% Krishna conscious. It doesn't matter which background he comes from, whether he is coming from lower family or whether he is coming from Vedic family or whether he is renounced. Unless otherwise he is 100% Krishna conscious, then he cannot be a spiritual master. And who said this? Lord Chaitanya. Who is Lord Chaitanya? Who is Lord Krishna himself, who came as a Bhaktavatar. So he himself says, and that is why Prabhupada went to the West. In the West, basically everybody are Yavanas and Mlechas. They are all meat eaters. They are all in the very lower cadre of the thing. They don't even come under the Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra. They come even below those Varnashrama system. But in spite of that, today we see that there are so many of them who became sannyasis and who are 100% Krishna consciousness and who are giving Krishna consciousness even to people like us, whom we think that we are coming from the cultured family. So the only qualification for somebody to become a spiritual master is, what is that? He should be 100%
Krishna
consciousness. Okay, he should be, he's the master of the science of Krishna. Okay, continue, Shweta Mataji.
Sat karma nipuna vipro mantra tantra visharadha avaishnavo gururna shad vaishnava shwa pacho guruhu. A scholarly Brahmana, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. But a person born in a family of a lower caste can become a spiritual master if he is a Vaishnava or Krishna conscious, written in Padma Purana.
So what is a Padma Puran? It is also written in a Vedic literature. So just because somebody is an expert in Vedic knowledge, he can use word juggleries and everything. But if he is not a Vaishnava, who is a Vaishnava means a devotee of Krishna or Lord Vishnu, then he is not considered to be a spiritual master. But a person, even though if he is born in a lower family, but if he is Krishna conscious, then we have to accept them as a guru. That's why even when Prabhupada, when he brought a lot of these Westerner people and when he gave them Brahmanical initiation and everything, many people in the Vrindavan, they all condemned Prabhupada. How come these people, they can become gurus? How can they do the thing? Because they were all like caste Brahmanas there. Goswamis, caste Goswamis. They just come through their parents like that. So they condemn. But what Prabhupada did is not out of his own will. He did as per the injection given in Shastras. In the Padma Puran, it is written that even if a person from a lower family, if he is Krishna consciousness, he can become a guru. So did Prabhupada follow the Shastras or he did at his own will?
He followed the Shastras.
He followed the Shastras, but other people, they are not well versed with the Shastras and they do not know. So they were condemning Prabhupada for giving the Brahminical initiation and all these things to the Westerners people. So today we know how many of them have become a very nice sannyasis and guru and preaching Krishna consciousness all over the world. Correct? So now what is the real problem of the life? Who would like to read? Uma Mataji, would you like to read?
Ji Mataji.
Yeah.
What is the real problem of the life? The problems of material existence, that is birth, old age, disease, and death, cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. In many parts of the world, there are states which are replete with all facilities of life, which are full of wealth and economically developed, yet the problems of material existence are still present. They are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or the Bhagavad-Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitute the signs of Krishna. Through the bona fide representative of Krishna, the man is Krishna consciousness.
So we know that we are thinking that we can solve all these problems by economic development. The entire world is behind the economic development. Today, people are admitted in the hospital and they are saying that, the hospital is like a 7-star status, like a 7-star hotel. You can order your menu. So what has changed? Did the disease change or just the hospital has become more sophisticated? Only thing is the hospital became more sophisticated. And when you come alive, you're happy. Okay, maybe you lived there and you had better facilities, you got cured and came. But when somebody dies, will that 7-star status will still give you happiness? Will the variety of food that you got there still gives you happiness? No, but we are just allured by the temporary things. And many parts, you can see the developed nations, they are all replete with all facilities. They have everything. They have cars, they have buildings, they have insurance. Economically, they are quite well off. They don't have much problem. But in spite of that, why we see that there are so many hospitals, there are so many people in places like US. Why do we often hear every 2-3 months the gun shoots? Why is it happening? If everything is good and they are getting the right knowledge, they really don't have economic problems like how we are facing in our country. If you see, even the poorest person has something over there. Here, the poorest person does not have anything at all. Right? But in spite of that, why is all such problem coming? We are thinking technological development, the internet, the phones. So all these things have come. It should probably make the people to lead a better life, or it has worsened the overall well-being of the people. Technological advancement. We see phones. Even with our own children, we find it so difficult to wind them away from phone. Today, they can be without parents, but they cannot be without phones or without iPad. So this is a situation. Even 4 people come and sit as a family in the dining table, but each and everyone is in their own phones.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go.
That is becoming more, Mataji.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Anywhere you go in the train, you go in the flight.
Yeah.
Earlier, people used to have some conversation. You know, where are you from? What are you know? In trains, people make a lot of good friendships also.
Yeah.
But today, will anybody even bother to ask who are you? Where do you come from?
The neck is always down.
Yeah. So everything has come down. The technological development has not done anything good. Rather, the psychologists have developed like a mushrooms today. If you see, there are so many people who are psychologists because they just need counseling. Why do you need counseling? Because you are totally ruined by your technology and by this thing. So we are doing everything thinking that we are developing, but at the end, is that development is helping? Yes, some of us are using this technology in the right spirit. Today, because there's a technology, because today we have an online facilities, some of us are living very far from each other, but still we are able to connect and we are able to serve Krishna and we are able to hear about Bhagavad Gita because this is a right use of technology. That is what Rupa Goswami also says, Yukta Vairagya. You can use the technology, you can use every material things, but they should all be used in the service of Krishna. We don't have to, reject the material things because there's nothing called material. Everything is Krishna's energy. We cannot reject anything, whether it is spiritual or material. That is also Parashakti and Aparashakti. It is all Krishna's energy. But we should learn to use all these things in service of Krishna. The matter can also be used in the service of Krishna. While we are using the phone to hear to the class, while you're using the phone to read about Krishna, to do this, then this same phone is used in our advancement in Krishna consciousness. But if you're using this force to watch a movie or to watch a serial or to watch a cricket match, then what are we doing? We are degrading. So technological advancement is good, but it should be used. We should not forget our spiritual pursuit. So that's very important. But we see overall, that is why one should consult the Shastras like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, many books, even the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that book he has written only with the help of Bhagavad Gita. So we see so many books, so many things because Bhagavad Gita becomes a base for us to understand. But again, Bhagavad Gita is also very, very, very broad. That's why Prabhupada gave the name of Bhagavad Gita as Bhagavad Gita as it is. So 2 days back, when I was transiting in the Bangalore airport, there was a bookshop and there were so many editions of Bhagavad Gita. I always remember Prabhupada said that there are more than 700 editions of Bhagavad Gita, even during Prabhupada's time, and they are all like absolutely useless. So one of the Bhagavad Gita version, which I took, and I was just going through few verses. So in the 7th chapter, we see that Krishna is condemning the worship of demigods, the devatas. He says, Antavantu phalam tesham alpamedasham. The people who are less intelligent and who have more desires, they approach the devatas. And in that particular book, the person who has written the translation, what he has written is, he said that Krishna told that if you're narrow-minded, you only worship one God. And if you're broad-minded, you worship several gods. My dear, Krishna did not say that. You're saying that and you're using Krishna's name in that. So we can see, even though it is the same Bhagavad Gita, if you're not reading from proper source, from the bona fide paramparas, even the same Bhagavad Gita message can be misled. Like we saw, Manmana Bhav Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Dr. Radhakrishnan, he said, not to Krishna, but to Krishna inside me. Is there anything inside and outside in Krishna? Why did Narasimhadev came from the pillar? To show that he is present everywhere. Ito Narasimha, Yato Narasimha, Yato Yato Yami, Nato Narasimha. He says he is everywhere. When Hiranyakashipu asked, was he in this pillar? Narasimhadev came from that pillar to prove that he is there everywhere. And the Shastras also say, why did Hiranyakashipu choose that particular pillar? Because that was a pillar where Hiranyakashipu himself was present when that pillar was built. That was one of the earliest pillars. So Hiranyakashipu thought that he built the pillar. So there's no way in which the god can enter. So he chose that pillar because he was personally present and he inspected that pillar was, established when the pillar was kept. So he thought that God cannot be there. But did he not come out of it? Because that is what the atheists think. They think that they can make this world, they can make everything better. And to smash the atheists, that's why who came? Narsimadev came. Krishna came in the form of Narsimadev. Therefore, it is very important that we have to consult Bhagavad Gita, not just any other Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, but coming through the bona fide representative of Krishna. That is a man in Krishna consciousness. And there was one more Bhagavad Gita that is called Bhagavad Gita for an atheist. Does atheist have anything from Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah.
When Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati, bhaktosi me sakacheti, where bhakti is the most glorified one, sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. How can you surrender to Krishna without bhakti? So how can will atheist even surrender to anyone? What is the general mentality of an atheist? He thinks that he is the doer. Everything, if I work hard, I can make things happen. There's no other force which is helping me. Is that not the mentality of an atheist? So how does an atheist can understand a Bhagavad Gita at all? So these are all the different versions. Therefore, we need to approach a proper bona fide guru to learn the Bhagavad Gita. Like some of us are just learning Bhagavad Gita for last 1 year at the most, or 7-8 months. But even though we are in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, are we not become the devotee of Krishna?
Yes.
We did not read till the 78th sloka of Bhagavad Gita saying Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna became the devotee of Krishna. Because we learned that first we have to become a devotee of Krishna. Therefore, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita will penetrate in us. Okay. So, next paragraph, Mataji. Anybody would like to read this? Yeah.
Utility of the economic development to solve the real problems of life. If economic development and material comforts would drive away anyone's lamentations for family, social, national, or international inevitabilities, then Arjun would not have said that even a unrivaled kingdom on earth or supremacy like that of the demigods in the heavenly planets would be unable to drive his lamentations. He sought, therefore, refuge in Krishna consciousness, and that is the right path for peace and harmony. Economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by the cataclysms of material nature. Even elevation into a higher planetary situation, as man are now seeking on the moon planet, can be finished at one stroke.
Yeah, we see that. We think that, the economic development can help us. We think, okay, now I'm earning money, so I can have a mosquito repellent. So when I'm having a mosquito repellent, I think that the mosquitoes will not bite me and I will be free from diseases like malaria and dengue. But does that really happen? Does that really happen?
No.
In spite of everything, the mosquitoes are becoming even more resistant and stronger. And still we are getting bitten and still we are suffering from the diseases. So we are thinking that the economic development, one stroke, when there was a fear of the war, how were the people? When there was a war declared between India and Pakistan, now it is kind of subsided. It is kind of, but it is also, we do not know, we never knew. It looks like. But how were the people? When there was a mock drill plan for the war, how was the people mentality? Were they so happily participating in the mock drill or they were so fearful?
Yeah, we must be fearful, yes.
Because what can happen? One war, one bomb, one nuclear bomb, it can destroy the entire country. In one stroke, whatever the economic development we have, whatever you earned, whatever you paid so much to get your flat, we work so hard throughout the life so that we can buy one apartment and we can settle there. But in one stroke, one earthquake or one thing can make everything nothing into nothing. Correct. So if there is a fear that, there is going to be a war, there is going to be a bomb in Bombay, let's see, will people still stay here, or you will leave everything that is with you and you will move to some other place? If there is a chance, you will think, okay, I need to protect my house, I cannot go. You will let go the home, right? You will let go everything. You will let go your credentials. You let go everything because you think that the life is more important than all these things. But otherwise, how are we generally leading the life? Most of us, when we are trying to give them Bhagavad Gita and when we are trying to make them, what do people generally say? The very first way they refute is saying what? Many people refuse. What is the general excuse that they give?
They don't
No
have
time. No time to read.
Time. Most of them comes with a common statement that they don't have time. But are they not watching reels? Are they not watching YouTube? Are they not watching Netflix? Are they not watching? Yes, we are having time for everything, but we do not have time to understand our real existence. We don't have time to understand who we are. We don't have time to understand how can we come out of the problems of life. When somebody asked Prabhupada, because there was Indo-Pak war that time also in 1971, 72. What do we do? What did Prabhupada said? I shared that video also in the group. What did Prabhupada say?
simply
We just,
chanted.
Just chant
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
So that is what the devotees do. Whether we live or whether we leave, what do? We just chant Hare,
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
When we live or leave, doesn't matter. A devotee serves Krishna being here or being in his planet. So for a devotee, the position is always the same. A pure devotee doesn't even want liberation. He does not do bhakti thinking that he will get liberated. He is doing bhakti because he wants to just serve Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadasi. Understand his constitutional position and he just wants to serve Krishna. Doesn't matter wherever he stays. Prabhupada left Vrindavan and went all the way to US. Was it so convenient for him to do that? Why did he do that? To give Krishna consciousness to everybody as the instruction given by his Guru Maharaj. So that is what a devotee does. Whether we are there or not, we learn how to always remain surrendered to Krishna and how to always be in the service of Krishna. So what is the solution recommended in Bhagavad Gita? Who wants to read this? Anybody else who has not read so far? Nobody? Okay.
I'll read it if nobody's reading.
Okay, please read.
What is the solution recommended in Bhagavad Gita? In Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavad Gita confirms this.
Shine punye mrityuloke vishanti.
Martya loken vishanti. When the results of pious activities are finished, one falls down from the peak of happiness to the lowest state of life. Many politicians of the world have fallen down in that way. Such downfalls only constitute more causes for lamentation. Therefore, if we want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, as Arjuna is seeking to do. So, Arjuna asked Krishna to solve the problem definitely, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness.
So people, they think if we go to heavenly planets, we are happy. But for that also Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, Shine Punya Matyaloke Vishanti. As your piety gets exhausted, you will have to leave the heavenly planets and go back to the Mrityulok, the world of birth, death, old age, and disease. It's very easily understood. Suppose you're going to US with a 6 months visa, or somebody is going with a H-1B visa. How long can you stay in the US? As long as your visa is valid. Once your visa is invalid, you pass the time, then you have to go back to your country from where you have come. So similarly, even if one manages to go to Swargaloka, which is also not easy, we thought, if someone has to go to Swargaloka, he should have never spoken lies for how many lifetimes? 100 lifetimes. And he should have done lot of pitrus. For pitrus, he must have done lot of things for them. So that is also not easy. But in spite of doing so many yajnas, so many things, if a person is managing to go to heavenly planet, even that is not going to be permanent. Even that is going to be a temporary place. As long as you're there, your piety gets exhausted, then you come back. Like for an example, you're going for a trip. You're planning an abroad trip. So let's say that you're having 5 lakhs. So you went and you came. So for you next time to go to another trip, you need to accumulate another 5 lakhs.
Yes.
You just cannot go next month because whatever you have, it got repleted. So for 5 lakhs, if that's your budget, you can stay in that particular country for that many days, which can allow you to stay there. Beyond your affordability, you have to come back. Correct. So you have to pay. So similarly, that is what happens even if one goes to the Swargaloka. Many politicians, we have seen there were so many politicians in the past, in the history, but are they still there? Why are their names changing? For example, we see that 1625 to 1670. 1671 to 1720. So there are so many, there is a beginning and there is an end. So is anybody who is behind the power, who is behind the fame, are they able to live permanently? No. Instead, what they do a lot of karmas, but in the next life, they can even become dogs. Because they don't have understanding about whatever the ugra karma that they are doing to get that position. We see many people in the political, the games are so dirty, they may even kill somebody else to get the throne. Imagine the kind of karma that they are accumulating, thinking that this life is all in all. So if we want to come out of all our lamentations, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, like
Krishna.
Arjuna did. What did Arjuna do? Arjuna knew that he had a problem, but he did not try to solve the problem on his own. Rather, he surrendered himself to Krishna. And by doing so, we saw that in the end, Arjuna was ready to fight. Situation did not change. They were in the same battlefield. Arjuna came to fight. In between, he thought he won't fight, and then he fought. Nothing changes. But what changes? The attitude in which the Arjuna took up, that changed. So similarly, in our life also, one may think, okay, if I become a devotee of Krishna, everything should go well because I am Krishna's devotee. I love Krishna and Krishna loves me. So nothing should happen in my life. No, it is not like that. Whatever karma one has to undergo, one has to undergo. Of course, a devotee understands that Krishna's hand is always there in him or in her. Because the Brahmaji says a prayer, Tattenu kampam susamikshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam ritva vapupri vidatam namaste jiveta yomukti padase dayabha. The devotee says, if some reversals comes in the life of a devotee, the devotee thinks, I must be suffering more. But because I am your devotee, you have made the suffering much lesser. Only in that mentality, if a devotee with such intention and with such vow can enter the kingdom of the Lord. So some people, we know that if some reversals comes, they stop worshipping God. They become an atheist. They say that, my mother was always praying Krishna, everything. In spite of that, my father passed away. So my mother stopped worshipping Krishna. So is this the right way to approach
No.
the God? No. So this is what happens because this is all happening because of the lack of the knowledge. But we should know, Krishna says in Bhagavadgita, in the 5th chapter, Subritam Sarvabhutana. He is a well-wisher of all the living entities. So even if the reversal comes, that reversal is only for our well-being. So that is the one we should do. When we are able to understand all these things, where is the question of lamentation? When do we lament? When we think that I should have done this, I should have not done that. when we are just thinking about our past, when we are trying to judge what we have done in the past, then the lamentation comes. But if you are very sure that whatever happens, it can only happen by the will of Krishna, not even a blade of grass moves without the will of God, then will we lament? Even if there was a bad decision that was taken, that bad decision was also intended for you. That was supposed to happen with you. But when you are surrendering to Krishna, your future will be good because you are going to live as per the instructions given by Krishna. Arjuna was not ready to fight with any one of them. But at the end, why did Arjuna choose to fight?
He surrendered to Krishna.
And he just want to follow what Krishna says. Krishna wanted him to fight, so he fought. So similarly, we have to do what Krishna wants us to do. It may so happen that we are not willing to do that. But if Krishna wants me to do that way, I will do that so that my life will be good. When Krishna says that the food that is eaten without offering is considered to be a sin, that is a thief, like a thief stealing, then we think, okay, yeah, I will follow everything that Krishna says, but I will just not follow what Krishna is saying, that every food has to be offered to him. Then is it a surrender? Is it what we are following what Krishna says? No. What I mean is, at least we need to endeavor. If we are not in a situation to offer all the prasadam that we eat, but at least we should endeavor slowly, slowly, slowly. Let me try to offer at least one time bhoga to Krishna, and one time let me take the prasadam. And slowly you can increase to 2 times, and then you can increase to 3 times. At least the endeavor should be there in our heart, that we should only eat whatever is offered to Krishna, because that is what, did I say, or Prabhupada said, or did Krishna say that?
Krishna said that.
Krishna says that. So Prabhupada is saying what Krishna said that. Because I remember one of the Mataji, she said that she used to even eat non-veg and everything before in Krishna consciousness. And the moment she read that word 3.13, where Krishna says that Yagna Shishta Sinasanto Mujjate Sarva Kilbishai, the food that is eaten without offering in yajna, sacrifice to him, is considered to be the sin. So immediately she stopped eating all the non-vegetarian food, because non-vegetarian food cannot be offered to Krishna. So this is what the changes happens. We may be from any background, we may be from whatever background, it doesn't matter. But once we think that we need to just follow whatever Krishna says, then our life will be out of any kind of lamentation. No matter, lot of problems comes in the world. Like we saw, the forest fire comes. Nobody lit the fire, but the fire comes automatically. Did anybody put the matchstick in the forest fire so that the forest fire comes? It happens on its own by some friction of the winds. So similarly, did anybody invite problem, or problem comes on its own? Problem is coming on its own. Nobody has to invite the problem. That's what Prabhupada said. Like how the problem comes on its own, the happiness also comes on its own way. So one does not have to endeavor too much to become happy. Just do your duties, do your responsibility, but don't hanker for happiness. That's what Krishna says. Tata mana pamanayo. Take honor and dishonor in the same way. Sukha and dukkha in the same way. Shita and ushna in the same way. So one should learn to come out of the dualities of life by considering that everything that happens is as per the wish of Krishna, as per the plan of Krishna, so that we can go back to him this very lifetime and come out of all the miseries of the life. Okay, so is this sloka clear? Any questions or any comments on this sloka? Hare Krishna.
It's clear, Mataji.
Okay, so we will close the class. We'll end the class. I have also sent those slokas, the voice message of all the 10 slokas. I don't know if you're hearing it. So
Yes,
please
Mataji.
try to also learn how to pronounce these slokas, because we are almost approaching till the 10 slokas. In next class, we'll finish the other 2 slokas and we will go to the next divisions of the Gita. We are going little slow because we need to understand Bhagavad Gita a little more properly and deeply. So we are taking some time to go through. Okay? Fine. We'll do the Narsimha prayers. So how are all of your sadhanas going? Good?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So I think most of you are able to do your 16 rounds.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Okay, screen share I will do. Okay. We'll do this. Yeah. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladalaye Hiranyakashipurvakah Shilatantanapalaye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yami Tato
Narsimha
Bhagi Narsimho
Narsimha
Hridaye
Hridaya
Narsimho
Narsimha
Narasimha
Narsimha
Ade
Adem
Sharanam
Sharanam
Prabhati
Prabhate
Tava
Tava
Kara
Kara
Kamala Bare
Kamala
Nakamadhuta Shringam
Gam
Dalita
Dalit
Hiranyakashipu
Yakashipu
Tanu
Tanu
Brinda
Brinda
Keshavadrita Narahari
Narahari Rupa
Rupa Jai
Jaya
Jagadish
Jagadish
Hari
Hari
Jaya
Jai
Jagadish
Jagadish
Hari
Hari
Jaya
Jaya
Jagadish
Jagadish
Hari
Hari
Jaya
Jaya
Narsimhadev
Narsimhadev
Jaya
Jaya
Narsimhadev
Narsimhadev
Jaya
Jaya
Narsimhadev
Narsimhadev
Jaya
Jaya
Narsimhadev
Narsimhadev
Jaya
Jaya
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj
Maharaj
Jaya
Jaya
Prahlad
Prahlad Maharaj
Maharaj
Jaya
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj
Maharaj
Jaya
Jaya
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj
Maharaj
Jaya
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 Prabhupada
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 Prabhupada Jaya Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada
Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya
Gurudev
Gurudev Gurudev
Gurudev Gurudev
Jaya Jaya Gurudev Bhakti Vigna Vinashaka Narasimha Bhagavan ki
Jai
Shri Shiromani Prahlad Maharaj ki
Jai
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai
Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa
Kalpatarubhascha
Sindhu Bhayevacha
Patitanam
Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo
Namaha
Namaha.
Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Bhagavad Gita as it is ki Jai Hare Krishna.
Hare
So
Krishna.
my humble request to all of you. So although we are hearing once or twice in a week in the classes, but please continue to hear about Krishna, continue to read or continue to hear to Prabhupada's class, continue to hear and continue to chant because the Smaranam comes. Always remembering Krishna, never forget Krishna only comes when first step in the Navavida Bhakti is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnum, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. So unless our Shravanam is not there and Kirtanam is not there, then Smaranam does not come. What do you remember the most? That is occupying your mind. We always remember the one that is occupying our mind the most. So we should try to occupy our mind with Krishna Katha and with Krishna Kirtan. Kirtan means chanting the Krishna's name or talking about Krishna consciousness to someone, distributing Krishna conscious literature to your friends or to your relatives or to your neighbors, and hearing about Krishna. Shravanam is very important because without Shravanam, we cannot have the right knowledge. Without that, we cannot do. So every day, each one of you allot particular time for Krishna consciousness. If you're working or anything, let's say some of you can allot 2 hours, some of you can allot 3 hours, some of you can allot 1 hour. But whatever time you're allotting, do it in such a way that that time is only between you and Krishna. Nothing else should come between you both. By doing that, gradually we can increase our duration of time spent in Krishna consciousness, and try to keep increasing your rounds. If you're already doing few rounds, every Ekadashi try to increase, because our goal is to reach 16 rounds. That's the minimum round that are needed so that we go back home, back to Godhead, and offer Bhoga. And whatever activities we are doing, always try to remember Krishna. Like Krishna says, Rasoham apsu kauntesha. Even the taste of water is Krishna. Prabhashmi shashi shuryayo. The sunlight and the moonlight is also Krishna. So every time we are drinking water, we are seeing the sunlight, we are seeing the moonlight. Everything is buddhi, buddhimatam chaham. The intelligence is from Krishna. Everything is from Krishna. So one should learn to train ourselves to see Krishna everywhere. In that way, we can always remember Krishna and we can never forget Krishna. This is a training that is needed. That's why it is called as sadhana bhakti. We may not be doing it very nicely, because one of my god brother asked my Guru Maharaj one question, which you say that Sri Guru Charana Padma, where you say Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Koriyo Aika Arna Kori Nahi. So the Guru's word should be considered like a Veda Vak. One has to follow the Guru's words. So he felt that in spite of hearing everything from the Guru, in spite of hearing the Shastras, he is having lot of material desires. So he felt it is hypocritic. In one way, I am saying that Guru Mukha Chitta Vakya Arna Koriha. I want to follow whatever the words coming from Guru, I am following. In other words, I am having lot of material desires still. So should I stop singing that? Because I feel I am hypocritic. I am saying something and I am doing something else. Then Maharaj said, no, continue to sing that. Even though you may have material desires, continue to sing that. Even the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is also a prayer, which is a prayer song. It is asking, oh Krishna, oh the energy of Krishna, please engage me in your service. We are asking. But how many of us are really engaging in some service of Krishna? Not many of us are engaging, but we are doing the prayers. So in that case, then we cannot do anything. We should not stop doing anything. We should keep on chanting and we should keep on singing, so that by singing, by keep on repeating, the purification comes. Okay.
Mataji, I have one doubt, Mataji. See, when we are offering prasad, normally we cook after, so the prasad is given to, so normally I don't have my bath and then get into the kitchen. Many a times I just get into the kitchen without having the bath, depending on how it is. Yes, some days like Ekadashi, I ensure that on Fridays, Tuesdays, and all these days, and Amavasya, then I have my bath and then get into the kitchen, but not every day. And if I'm offering a prasad, so how does a prasad become a prasad if I don't cook after having my bath? That is a doubt. So there is an hesitation there, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. But when you are offering Mataji, you should cook with cleanliness. It's important that chanting has no rules. You can chant without bathing. Chanting has absolutely no rules. There's no rules that you have to chant. But for offering Bhoga, while entering into the kitchen, we have to purify ourselves and we have to enter the kitchen. So that's very important. And we are only in the purified state, because Krishna is Parabrahma Parandhama. He's supremely pure. So when you're coming in contact with the pure person, we should also try to be pure internally and externally. Internally, we purifying ourselves by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. By chanting and chanting, we are coming out of a material desire. That's why the last week we sang that song. Oh Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya Namaste Jase Avir Avir Bhav Vajranaka Vajradamsha Karmashayan Randaya Randaya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaga Abhayam Abhayam Atmani Bhuishta Om Shram. We are singing that please take out all our material desires, like with your sharp nails, because these desires have accumulated not just as one lifetime. for many, 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 many lifetimes, for millions and trillions of lifetimes. So we are taking the shelter. So we should always do the prayers. So some basic cleanliness is important. Maybe you can adjust your life in such a way that maybe wake up 10 minutes early so that you can take your shower and enter the kitchen. Because Mataji, we were all in the same boat. Even me, before coming into Krishna consciousness, there was no rule that I have to shower and I have to enter the kitchen. Even I was entering the kitchen and was cooking everything. And 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, when everything is over, we feel that we will bath and we will be fresh, because that's a materialistic way of understanding. But now, because we are the devotee of Krishna and we are offering bhoga and everything, cleanliness is very important, because when you clean yourself, all the dirtiness goes away. It purifies you. When your body is order free, your body is this thing, so you become purified. So that is very important for us to shower, at least before entering the kitchen, shower, because that kitchen is for preparing for Krishna, who is the thing, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvalokam Maheshwaram. He is the enjoyer of everything. So we have to make our kitchen in such a way that in this kitchen, everything is prepared for the pleasure of Krishna. Whatever Krishna gives us as a remnant, I am going to eat that. So that shift should happen in our consciousness, that when we cook,
And also,
we are cooking
sorry,
for Krishna, not for us. Of course,
and
Krishna will give to
we
us.
can't taste anything. So many a
Yes,
times what I
Mataji.
do, I just taste.
Yeah,
Like for
Mataji,
example,
what you do when you pray and do no Mataji, Krishna will keep one more hand with you and he will put the salt and he will put the this thing. Mataji, now 7 years or so, I have been cooking without tasting. And I feel that my cooking and my whatever I do is much better than those days where I was tasting and cooking. It comes out even more deliciously. It's more tasty because it is cooked with the consciousness of offering to Krishna, and it is offered to Krishna, so it becomes right. Yes, 1 or 2 days it can so happen. You may miss out on few things. I'm not saying that, because our mind is also, chanchalam, it's restless. Sometimes we know we have to cook for Krishna, but sometimes in the office, husband has to go, children are demanding one time, and you have crunched with the time. So at that time, yeah, Krishna offering is there, but who is sitting on our heads? So many people are on our heads. So sometimes, it so happens. But generally, Mataji, you pray to Krishna, keep chanting or keep hearing, and you do. Krishna will definitely make the food more tastier than we tasting and doing. Of course, it's a transformation. It's just we are trying to do one step at a time. I'm not telling you immediately, you change everything from today onwards. Start with one meal and gradually change. Don't remain there. You don't remain in the first grade forever.
yeah.
After finishing first grade, you go to second grade and then you go to third grade, right? So even in bhakti, we should see that we are advancing. We should just not remain in the same place where we are or we fall down. We should ensure that this year I'm doing little bit better than last year. Or this month, I'm doing something more than last month. Even if you're adding one extra prayer for this month, that is something you're doing more for Krishna. I'm not saying inclusion should be very big inclusion. Even a small, a 2 minutes prayers that you're learning for Krishna to please him, that is also, Krishna takes it in a very, very big way. This soul is trying to please me. This soul wants to come back to me, and Krishna will give all the help to us. So that endeavor should come from us. Like in Damodar Leela, we saw the 2 fingers. What are the 2 fingers? The first one finger is our endeavors. Another finger is Krishna's mercy. Mercy is there, but endeavor should also be there. No, if somebody doesn't want Krishna, then how will Krishna come to that person? If you don't want Prime Minister to come to your home also, will he even ever come? He has so many people who are calling him. Even that he will choose where to go. And will he go to somebody who didn't even invite him? No. So we need to invite Krishna in our lives. Unless otherwise we invite, Krishna will not be coming. Yes, he is present as a Paramatma. Whether you invite not, even in the atheist chart, he is present. But he is in the form of apohana, in forgetfulness, not in the Remembrance. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishta matta smritirnyanam apohanam cha. So for some people, Krishna is in the remembrance. For some people, he is giving knowledge. For some people, he is giving apohanam. Even though he is in our heart, all the three things are given by Krishna only. So we should come to that state of smritirnyanam, knowledge and remembrance of Krishna. Take a little efforts, Mataji, tiny efforts, especially when you're in the weekend at home. Make little bit of efforts to please Krishna. Those days where you are going to job, okay, that tiny things, when it becomes a habit, then it becomes very easy for us. Then Krishna consciousness will become a way of life. In that case, you will not feel that it is a special endeavor. Maybe for outsiders, it may look so many things these people are doing. How do they even have time to do? But for us, it is just the way of life. Make it a way of life. Krishna consciousness is just the way of life, nothing else. We have to mold our life to always remember Krishna. Consciousness should be always filled with Krishna, because Ante Narayana Smriti. When you are only remembering Krishna in the end of the life, you can go back to him. So far we are still in the material world, which means none of the lifetimes we could remember Krishna. That's the fact. Had we ever remembered Krishna in one lifetime, we won't be talking Bhagavad Gita here. We will be in Vaikuntha now. So we are always forgetful of Krishna. We need to accept that. So how do we remember Krishna? That is what we should try to cultivate by reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and by associating with the devotees, and by following Ekadashi, by reading the Bhagavatam, by chanting that 5 angas of devotion. These 5 angas can help us. And try to go to temple at least once a month. Try to go. We are praying to Prabhupada, we are praying to Rasa Bihari. Once a month at least try to go and visit him. Because Shweta Mataji recently could spend 4 days in the temple for a camp for her and for her daughter. And she had a very good experience being in the temple for 4 days. Mataji, would you like to share about it?
Yes. So I think in last 3 years I've never been to the temple. It must be like just once or twice. But this was only for my daughter, so I decided to, take as an opportunity to at least visit temple. So it was good. I mean, because past I have gone temple on the occasions where there is a festival and you don't get to see the, darshan, to take the darshan properly, and to even just to breathe over there, where you just want to, relax and take the energy from there. So the 4 days when I'd spent, it was so empty that so relaxing that we would go, a little early than the time for the camp, and we would sit there and chant, both me and my daughter. So she also chants. She does only one round, but that round also she would do those days in the temple. So just a good feel factor. I also know, like in Bombay, Juhu temple is it takes us 1 hour to reach one way. So it is not possible, but at least I have thought of at least going on the Ekadashis. Even on Ekadashi, the temple is not that crowded. You can easily relax. So once in 15 days, once in 30 days, I think it just gives you a little calmness. That is what I felt. And even my daughter enjoyed. I mean, I
More
wouldn't have
than that
expected from,
connectivity. You
yeah,
would be able to
I had not
connect to Krishna, right?
yes, I had not expected this from my daughter, who is just 9 years old, but she said that it is nice to come and sit here. So those were the thing, and at least now I making a point that at least I'll go once a month or twice in a month.
Yeah. So all of you, please try at least to visit the temple at least once a month. Yeah, I know temples are far away living in Mumbai. So, but that will give you a connectivity, connecting to Krishna. When Krishna says, Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, we are all part and parcel. Unless we sit before the Lord and we see, we will not be able to connect. Did that also improve your quality of chanting, Mataji? Did you feel your...
Yes, it did. And all this while I was doing 8 rounds The day the 4 days where I went, the first day, I, said that I'm now going to do 10 rounds. So, in fact, those 4 days, I was able to do 16 rounds all the days because, see, I was spending a lot of time on the travel. So, I utilized it
For chanting.
for chanting it, for chanting the rounds. So, but the 10 rounds are continued from then onwards. I'm sure slowly I will reach to
Yeah,
16
make it to
also.
16. That's what I was trying to say. All of you
Yeah.
make a goal. Reach there slowly, slowly, incrementally, make it an increment so that, it becomes a part of your life. Don't stress it out too much, because if you make big, big goals, then there is a chance of falling down, because that thing can make you so stressful. Make an incremental goal. Every month, learning a new prayer, increasing 1 or 2 rounds. Then slowly, slowly, we will reach to the goal. Because we also saw in the last 2 slokas, we have to approach a guru. Without guru, we cannot get Krishna. So all of us in our lifetime should think that I should take a diksha from a guru. It may not be so favorable now, but make it a goal of life. Slowly, slowly make the change, because ultimately, don't you want to solve the problems of your life? Don't you want to go back to Krishna this very lifetime? When you're given an opportunity, why do you want to waste it? Correct? So keep that. So the guru is very important. And in ISKCON, for us to get the guru, chanting 16 rounds and following the 4 regulative principles is very important. So 4 regulative principles, Uma Mataji, do you remember the 4 regulative principles? What are the 4 regulative principles? No.
No meat eating.
No meat eating.
No meat eating.
No illicit relationships, and no intoxication, and no
Gambling.
So these are the 4 regulative principles that we follow, along with not eating onion, garlic, and mushrooms, which is not, and offering the prasad. That's all. This is the only qualification that is needed to for a guru to accept us. That's all. And we have a disciple course, ISKCON disciple course. So those who are chanting 16 rounds, at least for 1 year or so, can go for the disciple course and can understand the guru disciple relationships and can get diksha. That's all. So please keep it, at least desire. Okay, I may not be immediately, but in this lifetime, I have to take diksha. I need a guru who can accept me. So guru is not a patient, but guru is a medium for us to go back to Krishna. Okay, Mataji. At least I have the desire. Okay, because if we don't have desire at all, then it will not be possible for us to go back to Krishna. Okay.
Mataji, do you have a minute? I just have another question.
Yeah.
So
if somebody else is getting late, you can leave the meeting because it's 7:49. If anybody else, yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, I will about the chanting. I must say that I don't have a fixed number of rounds for sure. So sometimes I will chant a little, a few more rounds, sometimes no rounds. So that is how my situation is. So, but what I could see is that, when I am on road while driving or while cooking or somewhere outside home and all, I'm doing more, I do chant with not with the mala and all. Like that, I do keep chanting. I do chant, and I could see that chanting is of good quality. I feel so happy when I do that. But when I have this, the beads, in my hand, and then just sit at one place and then do the chanting, then I feel like it's kind of, it's taking too much of time, or I'm not able to have that kind of a quality around that, compared to what I do while I'm outside.
Like without count, you feel you're able to do better, but with count, you feel some kind of stress or something.
That's true.
Yeah. But this count is actually given by the Rupa Goswami himself, because when we are devoted, we should have some particular sankalpas, particular rounds, because When we are doing without Sankhya, as you said, one day you do so much, another day you do not do anything. But every day we eat, Mataji. Even though you have a feast for full day, next day we don't starve. We still eat something, right?
Yeah.
So this fixed round is very important, Mataji. And one more thing, remember, every time you're touching the beads, it's like you're touching the lotus feet of the Lord. Rather, by chanting with beads, you're more connected with Krishna, because at the end of each mantra, you're touching the lotus feet of the Lord. So try to think that way and do, because every mantra I do, I am taking obeisance of Krishna. I'm touching his feet. Okay, Mataji. And what else you can do is you can try to, with some associate yourself with the devotees who are chanting good. Try to chant with them at least for few days, at least once a week or like that. Make a group with some of the Matajis who are practicing there, and seek their help and tell that, why don't we just chant together once a week like that, at least some 4 rounds or 8 rounds like that.
Yeah, actually, we have a group in Houston.
Yeah. Is it
So,
online or offline?
Yeah, it's online, and no, it's yeah, this again is Zoom session only,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
but yeah, I do join, but sometimes I am not that regular there also. So when I join the group, then yeah, I am able to chant few rounds. But sometimes those days, especially when I don't join, then I don't end up doing any round also.
Okay. Okay.
So that is how it is.
Yes,
But yeah, we
Mataji.
have to.
Yeah. So here again, when we love Krishna, we like to take his name and we need to do. So how is your reading, Mataji? Are you reading sufficiently? Are you
Yes.
hearing Prabhupada's class every day?
Yeah, yes, I do all those things on a daily basis.
Okay,
And
okay. But
I
chanting
do,
is challenging for
yeah,
you.
yes, chanting is the only challenging part.
Chanting that too with
Yes,
the beats.
yes,
It's
exactly,
challenging.
yeah,
Yeah, you're
right.
able to chant. It's not that you don't want, but chanting with the beats is a
Mm.
little bit of the problem. So Mataji, what you can do is, other thing that can help you is, instead of chanting your 16 rounds at one go, if you're having this thing, try to break it. Like for example, when you are offering boga, you will be waiting 10 minutes to take the boga from the altar. So make that time. What, Mataji?
5 minutes I keep it,
Yeah.
not 10 minutes
Yeah,
because
actually
maybe the rush time.
advisable is 10 minutes, Mataji, to keep the boga.
Mm.
But if you don't have time, you can take it 5 minutes, but don't keep the standard as 5 minutes. The standard is 10 minutes, but in a situation where we cannot, because we are giving time for the Lord to eat.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
Mataji,
feel
at
that
least
also.
10 minutes to eat, right? See, here everything we are doing is, it's just not a sentiment. We are, we are offering boga. The Lord is eating what we are giving. So we need to give the time for the Lord to eat.
Yeah.
So that's why we are giving that 10 minutes. Sometimes okay, when children in a hurry like that, we can do 5 minutes, but try to make it other times at least. If morning times, you can offer 5 minutes. Evening and afternoons are not very rush time, right? So you can do. So you can offer and do 1 round of chanting and then take out the bhoga. Like that. Every time before you go to cook, chant 1 round. So make it into parts. If you cannot chant fully, chant like 2 rounds or 4 rounds at one go. Don't chant 16 rounds at one go if that is a problem to you. Try to break it into 4 parts of the day you're chanting and do 2 rounds each. Something like that. You can plan, Mataji. Yeah. And immediately after waking up, because chanting does not need any bathing or anything. You can just clean your teeth. You can brush your teeth, wash your hands and face, and you can just sit. Just immediately after you wake up, just drink a glass of water and just sit and chant, Mataji, 2 rounds. Make it as a thing. If you're waking up late, that you don't have time to chant 2 rounds, from tomorrow onwards, try to wake up at least 20 minutes early so that you can at least do a couple of rounds. Like that, make some small modifications in your day-to-day activities. which will allow you to give some time for chanting.
Okay, sure. I'll
Make
try
it
to do.
into breaks, like immediately waking up and doing is very, very effective. As soon as you wake up, because you're saying that Krishna, I am your dasa. My life is in your hands. You should just do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji, we can drink water before bathing. No issues. We can drink water. No problem. Yeah. One of the Mataji asked the question if we can drink water. Yeah, we can drink water. So just chanting has no rules and regulations, but for offering bhoga, you have to enter the kitchen by after bathing, because we are approaching the supreme pure. Okay, Mataji. So chanting is very important for us, chanting 16 rounds. So please focus on those 16 rounds. That will give you a lot of, advancement in your devotion, and will also help you, because unless otherwise you chant 16 rounds, you cannot take Diksha. It's not allowed. I don't know, once we saw when Giriraj Swami Maharaj was giving Diksha, one of the Mataji, when he asked how many rounds you chant, she said, I chant 5 rounds. Maybe the leaders or anybody did not tell her properly. He said, okay, you go back, you chant 16 rounds, and then I will give you Diksha, he said. So that's
Actually,
why.
Mataji, what we can do for start with every Sunday when we have the 6 o'clock class, we can actually join, which Mataji also mentioned. We'll join 15 minutes early. We can at least chant there some together.
Yeah, we
think
can do Mataji. We can maybe from
we
next
anyway
week we can.
started at least one round.
Yeah, correct. We will do maybe 5:45 we can start.
Yeah, I
and
think
we
we'll
can
start that way.
Yeah, whomsoever
Rekha
wants to
Mataji.
chant little early, they can come and we can do the chanting.
Let's start that way. I will also join, and we can at least group the number of rounds. We can make it to 4, and we start the
See,
section
I
from
am
6, 5 or
okay
something.
even if some of you wanted to chant every day between 5 to 5:30 also, because I'm anyway chanting. So we can open the Zoom meet, and people whomsoever want to chant for those 30 minutes can join for chanting. So that is also fine, even on a regular basis, if you wanted that way.
In the morning, Mataji?
Yes, morning, 5 to 5:30.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that is anyway my chanting time. 5 to 5:30, I always chant. So I can chant with the Zoom open and with you all. That's not a problem. If that is helping you for chanting better and chanting regularly, we can do that.
Yes, Mataji.
See, only thing is I don't want to force too many things on you. So you let me know, accordingly we can plan, no issues, okay? But please, Mataji, ensure that if don't think about 16 rounds immediately if you're not at there. Even start with 4 quality rounds. Build on it from 4. Even every Ekadashi, if you're increasing 1 rounds from 4, within 12 Ekadashi, you will go to 16 rounds. That will hardly take 6 months for us to reach to 16 rounds. But our effort should be consistent.
Yeah.
Important thing is be consistent in whatever we do. Slowly, steadily, and consistently, if we do, everything becomes possible.
Yeah.
Like I know now, many of you are at least chanting 16 rounds. Uma Mataji, are you chanting 16 rounds every day?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Mataji, you're also chanting 16?
Oh, yes, Mataji, but in some of the circumstances, I used to lose her.
Okay. Seema Mataji, I think she's also
But
chanting.
I can do Mataji 16.
Anushka, Mataji, you're also chanting 16 rounds?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, fine. Meera Mataji, what about you?
On Ekadashi day, definitely 16 rounds. Other days, I'm not able to make it up, but I keep chanting.
Yeah. Same like what Lekha Mataji said. I think you're chanting, which is good. But at least keep a number also, Mataji. At least try to do.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
At least in the beats, no, try to do at least 8 rounds. If you can do 16 on Ekadashi, split it. If it looks too much, just split it into different part of the day so that it becomes easier for us. Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.